remnants of archaeology from the different time periods. Not so much from the first temple here, where you can see more from the first temple period is the city of David. There's also part of a city wall called the Broad Wall in a corner of the Jewish quarter. So there are remnants, but this is really classically mainly the second temple. Any other questions? Okay, please follow me and we'll learn some of the secrets of the Mhay. We're standing now under a portion of the bridge. This bridge connected the hill on the west, today's Jewish quarter, with the holy mountain, Mount Moriah, the hill on the east. Behind us, behind me, where the temple stood. The most important thing about this bridge is it carried a water aqueduct on it, and it was used to increase the water supply. The water flowed on the aqueduct and filled deep pits or cisterns in the Temple Mount. You couldn't draw the picture in 3D, so the aqueduct the bridge didn't go into the ground, it connected the next mountain over that we can't see. So we're standing now actually right under this arch of the bridge. How do I know that? Because behind this arch is an arch that's even wider than this one that actually attaches to the western wall. And the person who rediscovered this arch about 150 years ago was a gentleman named Charles Wilson. So we call that arch Wilson's Arch after him. He, in the 1870s, dug some shafts here, some deep pits. He got permission from the local rulers of the land then, it was the Ottoman Turkish Empire. And the information that he and his colleague, Charles Wilson, received from these little digs was later very useful for the Israelis when they started digging here in 1968 following the Six-Day War and the reunification of Jerusalem. There's something peculiar here about this bridge because look how close we are to the top. Usually find yourself under a bridge, it's usually way above our heads. So this tells us that street level back in the day is not what we're standing on now. So you don't see the street level from here. The answer is yes, you can. Take a look down at the glass window on the ground. Take a look over the wooden rail. And what you can see over there, looking down 15 meters, will take us back 2,000 years in time. And what you're looking at here is a mitzvah, an ancient ritual map. And in order to go to the temple, you have to be spiritually pure, which is not clean or dirty, but it's a spiritual state that doesn't really have an accurate translation in the English language. But to achieve this special state, you needed to immerse in a particular pool of water called And because so many thousands of Jewish folks came here during the holidays, they needed a lot of these pools. We found to date about 100 all over this area. 100 ritual baths. We know there are more hidden from us up here. Currently, it's only used for special occasions. And we're not going to go inside, but if you'd like to take a picture, feel free to take a picture of the synagogue. It's called Sharei Tshuva, after the gentleman who built it. We're going to see 2 panels in the ground. Follow me as we walk along the wall. Get a little closer because I want everybody to look at the stones that we're standing on. Anyone who's tired, 3 of you can have a seat here on the stone. So we're standing on the original street. These are the original paving stones of the street that ran all along the Western Wall. I like to call this Wall Street. Ha ha ha. So I was here. This was a marketplace open to the sky, like you can see in the picture. The market probably ran for close to a kilometer. And where we're standing now is we're at the dead end of the market. We began our tour here. We stood here and looked at the ritual bath at the mikvah. We walked past the bridge, passing the brand new synagogue. We saw the large stone, the ancient gateway, the area where the ladies prayed. We looked down at the two windows, and as we were walking straight, the ancient street that's been mainly, we've been unable to see it, except in a couple of little spots. So that street rose up to meet us here. So here we're actually standing on the original bedrock, on the original streets. And you can imagine the excitement of the archaeologists and the engineers that they could incorporate something ancient into the brand new visitor center. But the street doesn't end in a very elegant way. It dead ends into this boulder. It looks like Herod's workers started carving this chunk of natural rock, but then for some reason the work was abandoned. We think they stopped the work because of Herod's death. As Herod was building the wall, having his workers stack the bricks, he moves along to the northern end of where the wall needs to be. And in this northern section of what was here in the middle, this deep valley, suddenly there is a mountain that later gets the name Antonia. So here Herod knows that he cannot move a mountain. So this is where he has his workers chisel the edge of the mountain to make it look like individually carved out stones. So these are like the fake stones. It's a mountain dressed to look like individual stones. Here are 3 stones that didn't make it anywhere, probably meant to be used in beautifying the end of the street. We have here a pair of pillars that was either some kind of a shop, maybe a rest area. We believe the original market was not this narrow, maybe 3 times the width. And there's a little protrusion or bump on the pillar on the right. If you were to reach your hand all the way around in that like hole, in that open area, there's another bump on the other side. So this was somehow, they tied a rope around these bumps, and that's how they put the pillar in place. And when they were done, where everything was where it needed to be, they would chisel off the bump to make the pillar or whatever stone it was more attractive. So here we can see on the left there's no bump, on the right there's a bump, again a sign that the work wasn't completed. The street was functional but not quite finished. And this was a place you could buy a turtle dove, pottery, incense, anything that you needed. We're going to see a 2-minute video. In case you're wondering, how do they move those huge stones? Come, let's see the video. So what we're going to do now is we're going to leave the wall, we're going to walk along it for a little bit more, and then we're going to find ourselves in our ancient tunnel of the day. As we leave the wall and go upstairs, we're going to find ourselves over here. Does everyone see this black line? This is a tunnel. It's our ancient tunnel of the day. It was dug through the mountain, an additional aqueduct that brought water from the north through this channel to fill deep pits, cisterns on the Temple Mount. So when you're walking through it, remember that it was dug out of the rock, dug through a mountain with whatever tools they had 2,200 years ago. That was not the flight, an airplane, no. It was cut out by Herod, and this pool also collected rainwater. This pool used to be open to the sky. The roof up here, or this huge arch over here, this was put here by the Romans. We know exactly when they did it, because when the temple was destroyed in the year 70, the city lay abandoned for many, many decades. And there was yet another Jewish revolt for independence. It's called the Bar Kokhba revolt. After the game of Palestine, and all were sure that the Jews were finished and independent people. But the Jewish people, we never got God, we never got Islam, we never got the temple. And I have a humble opinion, I think that's why we've been able to return. You know, we have many songs in Hebrew that talk about the beauty of Jerusalem, and there's a song that talks about the Western Wall. It says there are men with hearts of stone and stones with hearts of men. So I hope you enjoyed this tour, and please come back again to Jerusalem. And I want to just explain to you where we are now, because we walked from the south to the north along the wall. We're exiting here. It's part of the show, part of the marketplace in the Muslim Quarter. Here is most of the first and second stations of the Via Dolorosa. We walked back to the Western Wall, where we started as a group. We have two escorts with us. You don't have to come back with us. You're more than welcome to sightsee on your own. If you want to follow me, I'm going out the door of the exit, and I'm going to make a left and walk about a few yards, a few meters down the street. Want to walk back with me? Please follow me, otherwise have a great day. Any questions?